so you guys have like a big thing there too.
I love that. That's funny.
Right, for when you get a little too...
Should I, shouldn't I? Oh. Nice. I like it. How much experience do you have with your car at this point?
I've probably put off-road miles, a couple thousand on this.
Okay.
I've owned it for about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And
just trying to gauge kind of where we're at.
Yeah, that's a cooler. But yeah, she's been the Moab and just everywhere.
Oh, cool.
In fact, it's happier in low range.
Yeah, for sure. Always want to do low range. Far easier on your transmission, keeps it cooler, doesn't have to work as hard, kind of easier on everything.
Yeah. She's been on the beach a lot too.
Okay.
So.
Yep.
I should have dumped the water out of that.
Yeah, we still can if you like. If you want to pull off right up here, just nose into this. We can stop here.
Yeah, it'll be all right. It keeps everything cold.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, the cold water stays cold for...
Because normally I have a fridge, but it's a dorm fridge.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't going to have enough power to run it for a long extended period.
Have you been out yet, or this is your first time out?
First time down here for Overland Expo.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yesterday I drove the right-hand drive Discovery, I think it was, on the VF Goodrich.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I couldn't get the shifting down with this hand. It felt so weird.
It feels weird shifting with that hand, doesn't it? Yeah. I've done that too. A couple of little tips that I would give you is, first thing, I always like to use both hands on the wheel. The other part of that is set your seat so you're a little higher when you're off-road.
So you can see better.
So, see better, and if it raises up, does your seat raise up at all?
Nope, it doesn't.
just chill.
Yeah, it's basic.
So set it a little more vertical than you normally would, just for better visibility out in front of your vehicle.
Okay.
So that'd be one tip that I do. Once you get back on the road, you can go wherever you want. But for off-road, the higher the better, because you can really gauge and see what's in front of you. So we're going to go this way.
I also like to do it with the windows open, because you can hear like what the tires are doing.
Yeah, you can kind of get a feel for what's going on there. And how much weight do you have on the roof?
It's about 100 pounds.
Okay, so not a lot. So picking some lines, when people start thinking about off-road, the first thing they ask is, what's the ground clearance? And in reality, the ground clearance is the least important of the numbers.
It's your approach and departure angles.
Breakover, and departure that's more important than ground clearance. So on here, if we stop and look at this for a second, you'll see that breakover angle. The approach would be fine. Departure's probably going to be fine, but the breakover angle is going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
So we can modify our line a little, use the road, but just kick left a little bit so we minimize the amount of breakover angle. So sometimes it's just driving the terrain to get you in the right position so that you minimize those things. Usually ground clearance isn't the issue. Here, what I do is just go straight over the middle of that. So put that big hole right underneath the middle of the car. So just like you're doing, which keeps my wheel, come right just a little bit, and now straight, back a little bit more left, and that keeps my wheel on the highest point, which lifts everything up, so we're not going through a ton of twists, everything walks the vehicle up right through it. So we just went through a really nasty section and didn't go through anything. Now we'll go this way. And it's just by picking good lines.
And this is a bone stock, suspension-wise.
And it's bone stock. But the vehicle has no problem. Almost always there's choices on the track that you can just position your vehicle slightly different and get through it. So, nicely done.
I learned a lot of that when I was out in Colorado. I kind of did everything trial and error.
Yeah, would be nice to have a little instruction to kind of learn the basics.
Oh yeah, I did the whole trip solo.
Oh, cool.
It would have been nice to have a spotter in some spots.
So stop here. One thing I always recommend is go into first gear for downhill.
This has a neat feature too, where it'll hold the brakes for you too.
Yeah, but don't use it yet. Right. And the reason I want to show you this bit is, if you don't use that feature, by default use first gear low range for the downhill, and then use your downhill control if you want to, in addition to that. A little less use of the brakes, and it just uses engine braking. So let's do this one because it's smooth with just engine braking. So completely off the brake, and let's see how it does. You can see it kind of keeps things under control to some degree without having to use the downhill ascent control. We'll make a right turn right up here at this point. And that's a great feature, but if you don't have to use it, you don't
have to. It's less wear and tear on.
Yep, less wear and tear on your vehicle.
Left or right?
Left here. And I'm sorry again, it's Dan, right?
Yes.
Okay. You camped over the weekend, I presume.
I did.
Yeah. Nice. A lot of cool stuff down there, isn't there? You walk. I'm like a kid in a candy store down there.
I wish I had $100,000 to spend because I could.
What would you buy?
I would keep this. I love how capable this is, but I would, spend money on building it up. I'd probably get one of those overlanding trailers.
Yeah. Yep. So that kind of shows us what our ground clearance is and what we can do for picking slightly different lines. So here, what I would recommend doing is stay wide. Stop. So you can do it two different ways. You can do wide left, wide right. Wide right, we can't see how big of a tip we're going to get over there.
Oh, yeah.
So we might get in trouble. So you always want, and this is why I wanted to get you higher so you can look ahead a little bit further. So I would back up because you can see what's happening on the left line, right?
Yes.
And so we got to look at those bushes for our tent rack and all that, but I think we'll be fine. So now let's kick left. And we'll keep our uphill tires just on the crest of the turn, so we'll way left. So we're going to kind of straddle the ruts on the left. There we go.
Oh, okay, I see.
See what we're doing?
Yes.
And so now come right a little bit, just like that. Yep, perfect. Right a little bit more. Perfect.
Felt the tires slip a little bit.
Yep, which is fine. And now we're going to straddle that big rut on the left. And the reason we did that, this might have been okay, but we couldn't see around the corner. You obviously could have stopped and scouted ahead and checked it out, but we could see this side, so we knew this side was good.
That's usually like what I do when I run into a situation like that and I'm by myself is all
jump out
and walk ahead.
You can save yourself a lot of that worrying about that if you do jump out and scout ahead.
It's like I originally made that sticker as a joke, but then it's like, wait.
Maybe I should actually look at that from time to time. It's a good reality check, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could have had that sticker out with myself a few times over the years as I was learning. You're picking really good lines, doing the right thing with that.
This reminds me of that one spot in Utah where I almost had a
Yeah. So here, stop here. The typical, so you'll look at something like this. Two different ways we could do this. We could get over on the right, straddle it on the right. Problem with that is, as it gets down there, it pinches us off. So I would, and you're already kind of on this line, so let's just straddle all the big stuff on this line. Perfect. Yep.
I was thinking
Come
the
back
exact
my way
same
just a
thing.
skosh. Yep. Because you always got to remember
To read ahead.
come my way a skosh more. You always have to remember that the back tires, now we can start turning, have to track up where you want them also. So sometimes you have to crowd the front a little bit where you don't want it in order to get the back tires where you do want them as it goes over the stuff. So perfect on that. And that would be the only coaching I'd say there is you wanted to kind of turn in a little bit soon, which would have dropped the back tires in. So it's kind of that right on the edge of we're a little off where we want to be with the front tires, but it's going to keep the back tires where we want them to be.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And slamming the gas tank is not a good thing.
Yeah, no, not so much. Are you skid plated at all under it?
Yeah, I put a skid plate on the fuel tank because it was just like this plastic thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost punched a hole in it once.
Yeah.
But
Nicely done. All good.
it's like a good course too. It's got all kinds of stuff on it.
It does, yeah. It's got a good mix of ruts and step bumps and articulation. And it's pretty nice little course. Which engine it's the 7? It must be the V6. Right?
Yeah, it's got the 4-liter.
Yeah, it's a good engine.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of power. It's damn near bulletproof.
Yeah.
The only thing I've had to do to this engine-wise is the water pump
Yeah.
and spark plugs.
Yeah. Now, is this the water pump that you have to get all the way into the timing belt to change? No?
Nah, the 4 liters, the 1GRs have chains.
Okay.
Which
oh,
is
cool.
nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize that this V6 was a chain engine.
Yeah, the V8s are the ones with the belts, but they're good engines too.
Yeah. Just touch there a bit. Yep. So you want to stay out of that hole and then straddle up here. Yep, perfect.
Yep, heard the exhaust pipe hit.
Yep. And then I'd crowd my side a little bit, and then you can kick back in. Yep, you want to kick back in before you get to those. And then left a little bit. Nope, other left. And then straight. Perfectly straight here. Don't turn back yet, because we got to get our back past this bit here, and then you can kick back. Nice. So, yep, don't forget you have to drive the back 2 wheels as well.
That's actually a thing that I'm still
kind of working on that.
Working on that, yeah.
And the way to think about it is sometimes you have to put the front wheels where you don't really want them in order to get the back wheels where you really need them. Now, pretty major hole up here on the right.
All right.
So as we ease up here, yep, and on the left. So stop here. So probably the best line would be out and around this way, or You could stay on your side since we're already over here.
What I'm thinking is straddling.
Since we're already here, straddle as close as you can to that side without getting into the bushes, and you'll be okay. So whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I can drive up on that one little rock.
Yep. Whatever you're comfortable with on that side, you're plenty good over here. This will keep us out of it here. Nice. Same deal there, major hole, I'd stay left. Because you can kind of run down this whole section.
Just straddling
the whole big bit. Just keeping on the edge of it. Perfect. Yep. And then the same thing looking forward. You can see there's kind of a step over there, so I'd stay all the way, just kind of run this line all the way down. You can come my way a little bit, just keep these tires right in the middle and you're good.
I was keeping an eye on that big rock that I was running over.
Yeah. Awesome. And then looking ahead, I'd stay left.
Yeah.
Might as well, you're on this side already, right?
And getting stuck in the ruts, not fun.
And then this also sets us up to cross over up here if it looks like, and you can come my way a little bit, you don't need to get that far left. As long as you keep your wheels out of that. So when we look at this here, let's see if we can just run this line all the way up. Stay left? No, stay left. Yep. So stop here and I'll explain why. If this were really slick and you were over here,
you'd slide
into this. This, it's kind of balanced both ways and you're going to stay right over top of it. Off we go. It's amazing where you can take a decent stock vehicle with just a little bit of reading the trail and
a decent set of tires,
decent set of tires, and taking your time. Just take it slow. Stop if you need to get out and check it out.
I have friends like that. All they do is break things.
Yep. I have an old classic Range Rover. I just broke the first thing ever from owning Land Rovers for 25 years now. I broke an axle and it was in wet grass.
Oh, so it was the knuckle on it?
It was actually the axle in the front. Finally gave up. I was moving a big trailer. Didn't even have the center diff lock. It just was turning and it went pop. Yeah, go ahead.
You'll do. This is Mike. How do you turn the radio off in a Discovery?
I blew a wheel bearing when I was out west last summer with this.
Oh, really?
Well, it didn't blow up, but by the time I got home, I needed to replace it.
Yeah.
You didn't figure it out.
Basically, bit off a little more than I could chew in Utah and buried it past the running boards in clay.
Yeah.
I was able to winch myself out, but...
Roger that.
Yeah.
You have any stuck stories or?
Oh my God. I have some funny ones. I have some hard ones. So I've done Camel Trophy 3 times. Once as a competitor, 93, 94, and 95 support. So lots of time stuck with them. But one of my funniest ones, I was actually working for Land Rover at the time. Still do. I do lots of different trainings and everything. But we were in Wyoming, took a Range Rover out, just 2 of us at night. going to run the trail at night. One of our dealer general managers that I know real well from Atlanta was there and said, "Hey Tim, let's go run the trail." And this is one of those stories, learning things that you shouldn't do, which I knew all this, but knew the trail, had been around it and everything. So I let Joe drive, and we get to this one soft spot out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of Wyoming, and on the trail, and no cell service, no nothing. And I said, "All right, Joe, a little momentum through here." Well, he didn't. And we go,
Yep, that's what happened to me.
and we got nothing. We got we have the bottle jack in the car. That's all we got.
Oh, no.
We've got no shovel. We got no gloves. We're in our essentially, we'll go left here, essentially dress shoes and everything. And we're in a field in the middle of Wyoming. There's nothing around, right? And it's like 30 miles back to where we need to go. So we don't even have a flashlight. We got nothing.
No.
So we go, so we've got our phone, which had a little glow. This was pre-smartphone era, so just the screen, of old flip phone, it's just the screen, right? And so we go digging around out in the bushes, and finally find a few sticks and stuff, and I start jacking and filling to the best of our abilities. I actually might have had a little flashlight with me. We'll make a left here. And so we're in this big mud hole in the middle of the field, and kick it all the way up on the left edge. Perfect. And we're jacking, we're filling, we're muddy, we're using the spare tire, not too far, come my way a little bit, balance it out. There you go. We're jacking, we're filling, we're finally get it up, get some stuff under the tires, kind of fill the ruts, and finally able to move forward. It's getting daylight by now. And as it just starts to get daylight, we're so focused on what we're doing that we really look up for the first time, and we notice that there is a whole big circle of cows all the way around us watching. Stop here. They were just sitting there. What are these idiots doing? Yeah. Go ahead and play through, guys. Bottom of instructor loop. Yeah, go ahead and play through. What are these idiots doing? We cracked up at that point. It was like comic relief. There must have been, like 30 of them, all just standing there watching. Wonder what they're going to do next.
You know what I kind of like taught myself? It's not when you off-road, it's not when you get, or no, it's not if you get stuck.
It's when. Right.
And how bad.
That's exactly it. And what is your plan for getting out of it? So, yeah.
And we went that way before.
Yeah, we'll go right. Yeah. Another one, many years ago, super young, had a Toyota pickup, four-wheel drive pickup, was crossing a river, pretty good side current in it, and got about halfway across and the truck wouldn't move anymore. And it was deep. I mean, it was open the door, a little bit of water on the floorboards deep,
Oh man.
And so wasn't sure why we were stuck, but couldn't go forward, couldn't go back. And just random good luck, somebody showed up at the bank on the backside and said, "You guys need any help?" I said, "Would love it." And they said, "Here's a winch line. If you want to pull it out, I'll pull you out." So I went and grabbed the winch line, hooked it up, and they pulled us back. Well, as we came out, left front tire, the force of the current had popped the tire off the bead.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so I basically was two-wheel drive because that tire was just spinning in the tire housing.
Probably had like open diff.
Open diffs, yeah, it was a stock Toyota pickup, right? And, you know, young, learning, had no idea what I was really... I had some basic stuff in there, but nothing really. We were just out playing around.
It was like with my Explorer when I was in high school, and I got this thing. My friends were like, hey, you can go off-roading. It was like the two-door. Really capable for what it was.
Yeah.
And I put it on its side in a swamp.
Oops. In a what?
In a swamp.
Oh, yeah. We'll head down here. If you want to pull up next to those guys on the other side of that tree, or next to the vehicle, you can put your vehicle right up there.
Oh, cool.
Come back over and talk to these guys here at the desk. They'll give you a hat.
Awesome. I get a hat.
Yeah.
Cool. That was fun.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Really a pleasure. Thank you.
You
really,
too.
Really a pleasure working with you.